Hello, it is the end of the 25th day of August, so I guess the start of the 26th day, or that of Monday, new week. All bets, trades of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. But a quick look at a lot of general markets. As we have that of Bitcoin having this is hourly time frame at 20 hours or 8 p.m. Eastern time, having a significant up move on the 4 minute, getting above this level of resistance in around 7:56 p.m. Eastern time, and on the 1 minute time frame, where's the resistance break? Yeah, just this little range in here around 10,001 change, and just a phenomenal move here. And now it's just settling in. We'll see if it establishes a range and keeps going sideways. Maybe it'll have a little leg higher or continue its move. We'll see. But oftentimes when these things are ready to go, this is just a prototypical normal. But we look at the size of the size of this move in the short period of time. That's 10,243 up to 10,597 in like 4 minutes. If we do this against the price of gold, well, it's doing the same thing, outperforming that of the price of gold. And on its hourly term time frame, I mentioned well, Bitcoin's at 5 day highs, and well, here Bitcoin's at 2 day highs, so it's not at these levels because gold's overperforming the dollar recently. As this is what the hourly looks like on gold. What an interesting hour here, following what happened before. Now, what happened before was the weekend, end of the week, as gold broke out of this 1495, got above this fib level, and just consolidated at around the 1527 mark at the end of Friday. And we're starting tonight off with opening hour up 1.36%, which means as far as the daily term time frame, I mentioned on Friday's video exitation of the 18 average and undoing what you would expect it to do such. So we'll see as we start into Monday and continue in the week to see if gold's able to find microscopic a little amount of resistance at 1522 and maybe make it up to its next key level of potential resistance, which is not going to be shown until I even show more time frames. Even the weekly is not going to show it, as it's well overextended here, as it's got above the 18 average of highs on June the 3rd for its second leg higher, with its first one occurring in here. And even from here, having a little bit of microscopic grinding support here from June the 24th through that of July the 29th. As you can see, it grinded its way up, and then it's even been grinding its way up for the last 3 weeks too, and just the rate of ascent. So very strong movement, and then because of it, this thing is capable of having a microscopic or a monstrously big move up. We can continue the grind move as we move forward, most certainly, and at any time it can correct back down, and we can still resist this with a much larger pierce above. And on the monthly term, we're going to see what that next level is, because we're at levels. Next level is 16 and 3/5. But we're at levels last seen here in April of 2013. Therefore, a little over 6 year highs, yes. And we're in retracement mode from this high to this last low. And the last time we were in a retracement mode would have been from well, everything into here up to about into here. Why into there? Well, the high in here was about 850 or so. It was the high in 20,000. Excuse me. Yeah, 20,000 minus 20, 1980. That's when the high was about 850. So in here was consolidating amongst that high. Microscopically, I think did get above it, but it really had its clear break above it in the fall of 2009. And interestingly, back in here, if we look at how gold looked, here was gold making breaking above its high in 2009 that it had in 2008, and it was doing it in like October. And yeah, so now let's move over to silver. And the reason why I said it was interesting is because in September of 2009, here was silver still in retracement mode from this high to this low. And it didn't leave its retracement mode until 1 year later in September of 2010. Not close enough. And since then, it got above it, and it's had its own mode, and it's going to be in retracement mode all the way up until it gets past 50, but it's been in that mode the entire time. Because back in the 1970s, the price action bottomed at around one and a quarter in the early 1970s, around 70, 71, or 72. I think 72, but whatever. So it went from a buck and a quarter up to 50, and then back down to about four, higher or low, four from that one and a quarter mark. Matching high, higher or low right now. So if we have the higher or low back to it, it would be the third long-term test of 50. But to get there, right now we're at 1770. It's got a long, long ways to go. It's practically got a triple, almost triple. Before, it wasn't that long ago, I had to do a bit better than tripling. As tripling now would take it to about 53 or so. And within this on the weekly chart, just like gold, continuously going up on the 3 day. But we've gotten above this level of resistance here. A little bit of a pullback. So this is definitely live to have a significantly larger move on this time frame. Amongst the daily term, when we look at what this correctionary move looked like upon that, we can see it's all of this as it came to the 18. Of course, again, Friday was exitation of the 18. It's gotten above that level of resistance. It's a clear break above. Therefore, on any pullbacks, I'm expecting this previous resistance area between 1714 and 1752 to be the area I'm looking for support, as well as the rising 18 to go along with it, because I expect the 18 average of highs to surpass this, and the 18 average of lows to at least get into this area as well, with days moving on and rising prices. And when we look at this on like other time frames, like the 8 hour, there's that clear, noticeable break above resistance. Basically 3x hit. As it first established it here, tried to have a break above it. It technically did, but it was a failed breakout. Oftentimes for failed breakouts, it's fast moves in the opposite direction. And a little bit of one, but not really too much. It was really more of just continuing the range, establishing a higher end of resistance and support. And it never did retest this level of support again. It retested the original one back in here. And when getting above all these layers of resistance, of course, on the last session on Friday, it has had just a phenomenal move. It gets above the 18 average of highs Friday morning, getting above in here like on the around 17 and low change, and now it's working its way up to 17 and high change, or up about 60 cents. And 17 cents or so, 18 cents is 1%. So that's a little over 3% move from this low right now towards this high. It's all like meh kind of percentage gains, but it is, of course, a start within this market. And within, again, in the monthly term time frame, the exitation of the 18 in here, it's the second time. The last time it failed to do so, what it didn't do, and oftentimes charts do such, is break the previous established low. And here the established low is between 1419 and 1362. And well, it tested it twice on this flash move that happened around like 6 in the evening, p.m. Eastern time. And then again, or three times I should state it tested it. And then again it tested it from August the 1st to or August to December of 2018. And then again earlier this year in May and June. So we've had multiple tests of it from this point, but it didn't break it. And when I see something like that after an attempt not fail, and it reattempts it again, which is what it's doing, I'm going to have to take it, I think, relatively serious. I wouldn't be surprised if we do hold and stay above where we need to now, which is a rising 18 lows, this level of key level here, around 16 and a dime. And if we can see that hold level maybe better on the daily, and amongst such, this little key area here, 1585 to me, that little general point, 1580 type number. High 15s is the must hold area as far as deep as I would need to see it go. That's if we top now. For if we end up extending this move, then that number would most certainly have to be upgraded. For example, if it extends its move, well, the next target I'd be expecting is 21. And then if it were to happen to go there, then at that point I'd be saying, okay, I would want to see it hold and stay above this general area here around like 17 and as deep as maybe 16 and a half. And then if it just gets way past that and gets up to say 30 or 28, well, now I want to see it hold and stay above like 20, 19. And if it goes all the way up to 50, well, now I want to see it hold and stay above like 20 something, 20, 30. Well, I mean, if it were to go up $50 in uh, like 2 days, 3 days, which is like unrealistic to a degree, and maybe with the ventures of where they stop the market because they go up so fast, I don't know how that's in place. Not like we ever have any big up moves, but in a situation where you have a fast move up, generally speaking, if it were to do something like go to 50, I was originally going to say, well, I kind of need to hold 21. In long term, I kind of would. But short term, you'd only expect it to go down to like, well, 31 or something. And that's unrealistic, again, for a move to happen where it goes up, oh, $30 from here, like 200% in 2 days. Unrealistic. However, what is realistic is when I have a situation like this on an overextended market, deeply overextended. Any Bollinger Bands and stuff like that, I know they are being hit pretty good. Yeah, I know that. And I also realize that the monstrous moves, when they happen, albeit 200% in 2 days, might be going way too much. But 15 and 20% days are not. And it's been a long, long time since I've seen anything close to that on the silver market for a 24-hour change in price. But when you have the pattern set up like we do, you have the up move as we did on July the 15th, and you have two pauses. You follow the two pauses up with a very good up move, which pulls back within its session. And then the next move, it has a volatile play because it goes down in price to where it came from within its move. It extended its highs within the day, and then it came back to within the upper end of the previous day's session as the close. And the following day, which is now previous day, it had that little bit of that price correction in here, making the higher low to the previous days where it came from. And it closed the day up to the previous day's highest price. And of course, right now we've broken it. So with all that being said, in today's session and the next one in the now period, having the monstrously largest green candles, because we're not resisting this point, we're breaking the shorter term levels of resistance, become much more likely. They're always improbable to have 3, 4, or excuse me, 5, 10, 15% days. Those are the days I'm talking about. Anything over 6%. And even 4% moves. Any of those types of plays, because they're rare too. The odds of them for today, and even from this point moving forward at 17 and 3/4, are much higher than normally they ever have been within this. Because if you're telling me back in April of earlier this year, oh, what's the chance of silver on whatever given day goes up 5% or 20%? Not good. I could try to give you a number, and well, for 5%, I probably would have given you somewhere around 60 to 1. And now, for the next little bit, 5%, I couldn't even give you 6 to 1, because I got to think that there's a better than a 6 to 1 chance that we do go up 5% in the next 24 hours, which is like 85 cents, or making it to 1860. 1860 would be up here. That would be a good size green candle move, but following what it has, that is sort of expected. And if we hit this 21, like tomorrow or by any time this week, well, the chances this week it hits 21, or the chances, another better way of putting it, because what do we need to get there? 3 1/4? So 170, that's close to 20%. So the chances it goes up, say 19% this from here on in, anytime this week, is much, it's well lower than 50%, of course. but it's higher for a 19% move than it was any other, or mostly any other Sunday that we've had over the last plethora of years. As it's having its nice move it's had, and what was this week in here? 11.47% up. But all right then, let's conclude this up now, and really not much else to talk about. But at some point, these things are gonna take off. It's not a mystery that the fiat economic monetary based system in every country is set up in a debt based model, and inflation is not only a guarantee but are at pretty high levels right now for true inflation, and even for that real inflation as far as prices, everyday prices for stuff like grocery store, gasoline, and just the whole 9 yards of everything that we buy. And it's not like there's really any good chance, well, I'm going to hold the fiat currency and, well, I'm going to expect there to be deflation. So I'm going to expect it to be that, oh, these hotel rooms, $30 less a night in 10 years, 20 years. Case of beer, yeah, it's going to be 5, 6, $10 cheaper. Oh, okay, okay, go ahead and keep thinking that. I know no one would be thinking that because, I mean, the odds on something like that it's impossible, really. And yeah, so for the week, I like the chances that we have productive moves in the gold and silver market. And we'll see how it goes. But definitely the buyers have been in firm control of this market. They're not showing any signs right now that it's over, especially on the gold. For within it, it had a resistance close to its level, piercing below as early as August the 7th, and it came up there, piercing above on August the 13th, retesting it again on the 15th, and having this long duration of sideways movement with support a hair below 1500. And now that we're seeing on the short term, that the move that was first tested about 2 weeks ago is showing short-term support in this area. The whole 2 days of pausing. Oh, and I'm here. I'm saying 2 periods really of pausing, and then boom. And the reason why I say 2 periods of pausing like that is because of the Bitcoin monthly chart, because it's having its second pause period from these consecutive moves higher. Alrighty then. So thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a magnificent week. Bye bye.